Hi, my name is Rich Geely. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Offit Kurman. Today we're having a conversation with the founder and CEO of Timberlane, Rick Skidmore.
I'm Rick Skidmore. I'm the CEO and founder of Timberlane Shutters. I started my career in the insurance industry and was pretty successful at that, but always knew that my calling was to be more entrepreneurial and do something really on my own. Wasn't really sure what that was going to be. I was restoring an old home in Bucks County, Pennsylvania in 1990, I believe, and it had a bunch of old shutters, and the shutters were falling apart. And I knew at some point when I was close to the end of my restoration, I was going to make the shutters myself. And when that time came, I went looking for a company that built the shutters for real that most people would buy them from, and I couldn't find anybody. So that was the first moment when the light bulb went off, and I said, well, I'm unhappy in my corporate job. I know how to build a brand. I was just very, lightly into woodworking as a hobbyist, and I figured, I think I can do this. And that was kind of the origin of how I came up with the idea and started the business. I started in a very small space, the way most new businesses do. So I started in a very small shop, 1,000, 1,500 square feet, and it was really just me. And then, you hire one employee, and then it's time for a second employee, and then time for a third employee. And, we grew very fast, and our current facility is around 80,000 square feet, and it's in Montgomery County, and we have, I think, about 75 full-time employees today. Timberlane has done some really high-profile projects, everything from movies to national trusts, national trust properties and historic landmarks around the country. There's a very historical kind of component to shutters. They tend to be on older structures, traditional neoclassical properties where there's a lot of awareness around preservation and putting or replacing things like doors and windows with what would have been there originally. And that's really our sweet spot. That's what we do. We understand that space very, very well. So over time, we've developed a reputation and a very strong brand in not only the historic space, but also little niches. Like we do an awful lot of movie set work. Anytime there's, whether it's MGM or Universal or Disney, we've done a ton of work with Disney World and MGM. Anytime there's a project when there's an old home and it needs shutters, typically we're called upon. And I think most recently we did Winterthur down outside of Wilmington, which is the original DuPont estate. And that had, I think, about 600 windows. That was a large project. We've developed a reputation for understanding kind of the special needs of historically sensitive projects. We have an ability to replicate and reproduce shutters down to the smallest detail, including the hardware that goes with it. And as a result of that, over time, we've developed kind of an informal partnership with the National Trust. And anytime there's a project, we're typically called upon to either consult or in most cases end up providing the shutters for those projects.